The first place that I lived in, it didn't have an ensuite bathroom, so there were like 5 of us sharing one bathroom. Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and welcome to my channel. So I have some tips for those of you who are thinking about moving out of your parents' house because, quite frankly, you have had enough. You have had enough of the moaning and the monitoring of your whereabouts and the usual things that come with living in your parents' house in your 20s and 30s. I was 22, I believe, when I moved out of my parents' home. I think I've mentioned this in the previous video, but I just did not get on with my parents. It was just so difficult living under their roof, under their prying eyes. They wanted to be in my detail, know everything I was doing, where I was going, what time I was coming back. And it just caused so much tension in the house. Honestly, I had to get out of there, and that's why I eventually moved out. I wasn't about trying to rent a whole flat or a whole house by myself. That wasn't going to happen. I did the next best thing, which was renting a room. So I think I lived in about 3-4 places in total, and yeah, essentially I have many years experience of living with housemates. You have to get used to living with people that you don't know, complete strangers, and because they're not family members, you can't necessarily moan at them too much for doing things. You don't want to end up being kind of like their mum or their dad or being too heavy on them. You want to give them their space, so you need to bear in mind that you can't be like too moany in the house because you're going to become the least favorite housemate. But at the same time, you do also need to speak up if they keep like leaving dishes in the sink or they don't take their clothes out the washing machine in time. Yeah, you just got to kind of like know when to speak up and when to just let things go. I wrote a few tips you can use to get on with your housemates. Number 1 is buy your own cutlery. This probably was more of a hygiene reason than any other, to be honest. I can't fathom sharing cutlery with people that I don't even know. So I bought my own cutlery for hygiene reasons, but it also helped, I guess, just minimize potential conflicts, because what you probably will find is that housemates, they tend to leave dirty plates and bowls in their room, or they pile them into the dishwasher and they don't switch the dishwasher on. So when it comes time for you to eat your meals, there are no clean cutlery for you to use. So I just bought my own cutlery to keep my mind sane. Buy your own cutlery so that you don't get pissed off when things go missing or when there are never any clean knives and forks for you to use. Okay, so the second thing that I've wrote down is to try and get somewhere that is an ensuite. The first place that I lived in, it didn't have an ensuite bathroom, so there were like 5 of us sharing one bathroom, and to be honest, that was okay. I think it was okay because we all used the bathroom at different times. But one of the housemates, he worked nights, so he was never in the mornings, and then for those of us who were there in the mornings, we all got up at different times, so we never really were rushing around to use the bathroom. But where the difficulty arose was in cleanliness. Honestly, some people are really, really dirty, and there's nothing worse than waking up, going to the bathroom and seeing like hairs in the bathroom or horrible, gross dirt marks in the bath, hairs in the sink from someone shaving. It's not nice. So if you can, I know of course it's more expensive usually, but if you can, try and rent a room that has an ensuite bathroom. So the third tip that I have for you guys is to try and meal prep if you can. What you'd find about house sharing or flat sharing is that there's usually one kitchen. And if any of you guys are foodies, you probably will spend your evenings after work cooking dinner while someone else is in the kitchen also cooking their dinner. And before you know it, that can get really, really annoying. I'm the kind of person where if I come back from work, I just want my own space. I don't want to have spent a whole day talking and making conversation with people and then have to come back home and do the same thing. So I literally need my own space, at least just like for an hour and a half, just get my mind clear and just be by myself. So it was really, really annoying when I would come back home and someone would be in the kitchen and I would be like starving. So if you can, try and meal prep. What I used to do was I would spend either like Sunday afternoons or Sunday evenings just cooking for the entire week, making a big batch of my meals so that during the week I would have to spend as little time as possible in that kitchen making my meals. It really helped, I guess, because a lot of us in the houses that I used to live in, a lot of us were foodies. We would cook a lot of food, and you know, unless you have a really big kitchen in your house share, it can become a bit uncomfortable and a bit frustrating. So try and meal prep as you can. Dedicate a set time in the week where you just are in that kitchen doing your thing. Your housemates will eventually clock on that, okay, Sunday evenings, that's when Stacey does her meal prep, or that's when John is cooking. They probably will end up leaving you to it and not coming in the kitchen as much. That definitely helped. It helped me reduce the amount of time that I would have to spend in the kitchen during the week, which meant that I didn't have to spend a lot of my time forcing conversation with my housemates in the kitchen. The fourth tip that I have for you is to please clean the kitchen up after you have used it. Honestly, this is similar to the bathroom issue. When you are sharing amenities with people, please clean it. Keep your food separate and don't shop together. This is really, really crucial if you want to avoid any arguments of, oh, who drank my milk, or who ate my bread, or who's taken my butter. Those kind of things, you don't need that in your life. So keep all of your things separate. I had my own separate pots and pans because I just didn't want people using my things. I wanted them to be clean and there when I needed them to be. So I had my own utensils and I also had my own food. I never shopped with my housemates. I kept all of my food separate in separate shelves, separate cabinets, everything. Okay, so number 7 is if you are expecting a delivery, so say that's a Tesco delivery, a Sainsbury's delivery, whatever, make sure that you will be at home at the time that that delivery comes. You do not want to be relying on your housemates to take your delivery or to accept your delivery, because they'll be touching your food, unpacking your food, etc. You do not want any hands in your food, and you don't also want to be wondering if someone has stolen things from your delivery. So just make sure that any time that you have a delivery coming, that you will be at home to accept that delivery. The last tip that I have here is just something that really, really got on my nerves. I used to have a housemate who always allowed her door to slam, and it used to completely shake the entire house. So I mention this because it just can be so annoying if each time you go in and out of your bedroom, you just allow the door to slam. Be mindful of your housemates. Be considerate of other people. If you won't be in your mum's house slamming doors left, right and centre, don't do that in your house share. Sometimes it's not even the big things that cause the huge arguments. Sometimes it's the small things that people keep doing again and again and again that just get on your last nerve. So be considerate of other people. So those are all of the tips I have for you guys if you are house sharing or flat sharing, or if you're just thinking about moving out of your parents' home. These are the things that I guess helped me have a really amicable relationship with my housemates, and I'm sure it will do the same for you. So let me know if you are currently house sharing, flat sharing, or if you're thinking about moving out of your parents' home. Let me know. I hope you found this video helpful, and I will see you soon.